Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back. I know I keep saying it every single episode, but I can't wait to start sharing stuff with you guys. I think that's coming up soon. Hope. This week, I hope. Fingers crossed. To kind of let you in what the hell we're going to be doing. I'll tell you what we're going to be talking about today. And again, we're pre-taping this, so this is on taping this on Friday. So at this time, Anne Heche is still with us, but there's reports that she won't be. And very sad story. It's obviously going to talk about that. I'm not going to keep going on about this Warner Brothers stuff, but it's just such a massive story at the moment. And I got an expert with me here today, and Brett Sheridan, to break down all the comic book stuff, so we should talk about it a little bit. Speaking of expert stuff that he's really good at, Oscar Isaac's talking about coming back to Star Wars. She-Hulk is coming out. At this point, actually, I think I'd probably have seen a lot of She-Hulk. I got the screener. I'm checking that out, and I'm very curious. I don't know when the social embargo lifts, I think on the 15th. That's when I'm allowed to talk about it. So it should be today. I should probably have my thoughts out there already. I'm coming to you from the past and bringing you to the future. Sure. What else? There's other things. I got to follow up with Brett and see if he started Boys Season 2. I'll be honest, I'm going to be pissed off if he says no. Because it's like, what do you start a series for? You get us all hyped up, and then you just stop like an asshole. So we'll get into that and see where he went with that, see what else he's been watching. Speaking of Brett, he and I are going to see that Idris Elba movie, I think, tonight. Beast. Is that right? Or are we seeing the Barbarian movie tonight? I don't remember. One of the two. We're going to see two movies together. I'm taking Brett with me.
They're both bees.
Well, they're both bees. Barbarian and the Beast. They should just combine them, make it easy for us. Anyway, we got that and other stuff coming up today. I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun. Brett got no sleep, so usually that's when it's going to be a good show. We'll see how it works out for you. All right, listen. Speaking of Brett, try to get this asshole on the road so you finally do stand up. It's the only way we're going to get him to stand up. If I force him, I grab him by the pants and throw him up there to tell him to do it. So get us to 70,000. We're on the way. As I said, She-Hulk drops this week. That starts the whole big rush of shows we got coming on. We got She-Hulk. We got Game of Thrones. Sound like an old waiter. You got the She-Hulk. Right after that, you got yourself the, what the hell is that? The one with the you want some of the dragons? Yeah, we got Game of Thrones for you. Coming up after that, the ring thing with the little people running around with the hairy. The elves. The hobbits. That's what we got. The Lord of the Rings, power of something. And then after that, you got the guy who dies, Andor. He's going to be on the moon of Endor? No, that's not. I was told that was changed. Andor coming up. So we got a lot of shit coming up. Excited about that. So subscribe to us, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Help us out. It's getting up every single time that you guys download it. Even if you're watching today, download an episode of the podcast. Spotify, Apple helps tremendously. All right, let's get into it. It's a big thing. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Monday. I'm sure all the news we're talking about today is relevant, but we got to do it. Brett Sheridan is here.
Hello.
How you doing? You look nice and energized.
Yeah, I'm feeling great, man.
Did you take some greens today or what?
I did. That did bring me out of it. It was like, oh man, got to get this down, get going. I'm ready to go. Hit a train on the way here again.
Ran into a train?
It's just the time. Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah. I feel like I got hit by a train.
Yeah, it looked like it.
Oh.
It looked good, though.
Oh,
it looks like if you wanted to, you could flouse it up.
Yeah.
You could flouse that up.
It's just naturally starting to grow that way.
I think it looks good. So we're going to be talking about some stuff. This first show Brett and I are doing since I've been back from vacation. But we got some stuff to talk about. I want to start with the sad news first, because this is pretty terrible. Anne Heche, who, she's been around for a long time, and she's apparently not expected to survive. Again, we're taping this on Friday, and I hope nothing has happened since taping. But in the wake of the horrific car crash she had last Friday in Los Angeles, in the Mar Vista neighborhood, Heche's car, was this from Dark Horizons, by the way? Heche's car reportedly collided with a two-story home, causing a fire, which 59 firefighters battled for over an hour. Good Lord. For an hour? Oh, poor woman. Yeah. until she could be safely pulled out of the wreckage. She was reportedly able to communicate at the time of her rescue, but lost consciousness shortly after and never regained it. She's been hospitalized in a coma ever since. In a statement to Deadline, her rep says, unfortunately, due to her accident, she suffered a severe anoxic brain injury and remains in a coma in critical condition. She's not expected to survive. It has long been her choice to donate her organs, and she's been kept on life support to determine if any are viable. The Volcano and 6 Days, 7 Nights star recently filmed the Lifetime movie Girl in Room 13 about the human trafficking industry, with that film still scheduled to premiere in September. This is terrible. Terrible news. I don't know what happened and how she got into the accident. I don't know the details of it, but this is terrible.
Yeah, just the footage of the car.
Did you see the footage?
Yeah, it's just seeing it near the house. I mean, it's just a charred mess.
Oof.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
There's another one of those. Like, I don't know if you saw it on La Brea. It looked like somebody who was looking to hurt people was. It was La Brea, and something happened like a week ago. And the traffic was going north.
Yeah.
And so this person was coming towards the west, flying through, but they zoomed in on the traffic, and it has like they're like videotaping it when they're coming through the crash. I'm not even going to tell you because I know how it killed some people.
Oh yeah.
And when you hear how,
no, I heard about.
Yeah, it's bad. It's bad, and this has nothing to do with the other. It just reminds me that it was around the same time. But Anne Heche got into an accident, and I had heard about the accident. I was like, oh, okay. And they said she's in the hospital. I just thought she was going to be okay. Then I saw that report today. It said that she was suffering from coma, and I was like, and brain trauma. That's horrible. Thoughts go out to her family and everything. She's a very talented actress. It's the bummer. She's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
Long time.
And so. it's. I think initially it was like they said, well, she's got a long road ahead of her.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Yeah. And then
a
rep said no, it's not going to happen. So I'm hoping that by the time this episode comes out, that she had like some kind of miraculous recovery.
Yeah.
And that she pulled through it and came through, because that happens.
It does.
Happens.
Yeah. And it's and it would. I'd hate to see these things and maybe they're premature with saying things like that.
Right.
That's a little like, hey, why don't you put a little more hope out there instead
unless they really know and there's no hope. So again, thoughts and prayers out to her family, and it's a very terrible story. Poor Anne Heche. That's terrible. Let's try to move to some other news here, and I'm not going to stay too long on this, but I got it. This Warner Brothers stuff, I don't know what the hell they're going to do. It's so interesting because it's not just. Now look, there's just all the stuff that happened with that's happening with the Flash, and then Aquaman, and all this other stuff, and the 10-year plan, and HBO Max. But what about the fucking Scooby Doo movie?
Yeah,
they took it off. It's bullshit, Brett. I heard, true or false, that you started protesting.
Yeah.
That you drove down. You had a sign. You started protesting. Now, true or false? You were protesting in front of a house of an old couple that had nothing to do with this story.
Yeah, I dressed up as Shaggy.
Yes.
And I wanted to. It was a ground roots kind of a protest. I wanted to start out with this older couple and see if I could build it up.
Right.
I figured they were from the generation. Scooby Doo started in the '60s.
They should know. They should have an intel.
Yeah,
on
the kids these days don't know the Scoobs like I know them.
Right.
And it went on for about 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
Cops showed up, said move it along.
Now, was this before or after they invited you in for tea?
They invited me in, I think, to make me stop.
Right.
And then it was basically a bait and switch, because then they called the cops, and the cops are all right with me.
Yeah, the cops were actually on your side for a little bit, weren't they?
Yeah. They were kind of like, okay, we see what you're doing here.
Yeah.
But you're causing a bit of a ruckus, and I don't think anybody else is going to join in on you. So why don't you move it along?
Yeah, but why did they drive you to the art supply store? That I never understood that part of the story.
They said that my costume maybe if my costume was a little better.
Oh, so they helped you out with some stuff. Did one of the cops give you a face paint?
Yeah, they helped me out. Because I shaved completely,
right?
And I tried
Grew back fast.
I tried to do the little scruff there,
sure.
And he says, "Man, you look like a poor man's Shaggy." So,
right.
It's tough.
A little heartbreaking.
These are tough times we're going through with the Scooby Doo movie, and I don't know if people get out there, tweet it out,
let
like
people
and subscribe.
Save Scoob.
Yeah, save Scoob.
Save Scoob 2.
Scoobs.
Yeah, poor Scoobs. Yeah, this is one of the lost hero.
Shankies.
Shankies. Yeah, you can say whatever you want. I believe you. The lost hero in all of this, Scooby Doo. I didn't mind that first one that came out. I guess probably that's why some people are like, "Wait, save Scooby."
I loved those. I watched them with the kids.
But did you see the recent one that came out? There's one that came out It was during the streaming stuff with I think the pandemic and all that. I think it came out like 2-3 years ago. I watched it with the oldest.
I thought they did two.
Well, yeah, they did the live action ones.
Yeah, two live action.
This is animated. It was good. No, who needs the animator, right? Like the ones that we grew up with as a kid.
Yeah, no, I don't need that. I've already seen him with the Harlem Globetrotters
and Batman. Yeah, it's true. But I don't know what Warner Brothers is going to do. There's so many other things that they're working on over there. What I will say is, I think people were overreacting. Even our good friend Winston A. Marshall. Everybody's going nuts that the Batman hadn't been greenlit yet. Batman 2 hasn't been greenlit. It takes time. They don't just. It didn't say they're going to get canceled. They just haven't greenlit it yet. It doesn't mean they're not doing it. They're also the movie's supposed to come out for like another 4 years. They don't need to greenlight it right away. It's okay. Is everything coming? How's the script looking? Is everything? That one I'm not going to get all up in arms about because that's not. There's nothing that's. If they greenlit Joker 2, they're going to greenlight the Batman 2. Yeah. You agree?
That's my source tells me. I can't tell who it is, but my source tells me they'll greenlight it. But
I know your source. That's Randy.
Yeah, Randy. But he got fired for giving me his sources
from the donut shop.
Yeah. He was the one that got me to do the Scooby Doo protest.
He did
too. He's kind of.
I didn't want to ask you about that, but I figured sometimes he's a bad influence.
Yeah, little bit.
But he got you this tip.
He got me that tip.
Yeah.
He's a little too many of the left-handed cigarettes. Randy,
little bit.
Sometimes
too much.
Well, conspiracy theorists.
It's legal now.
Yeah.
Not legal in Florida still.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't have any anyway, but it's still didn't need any. I had the pool. Pool was good.
Oh, pools are good.
This was a good pool. And I was laying by the pool the whole time and just kind of relaxing, deciding not to really do anything.
That's the best thing to do. When we get older, that's all we want to do. You younger, you go on a vacation, you want to go around, party, do this, or see a side. I just want to be.
I want to lay by the pool.
Yeah, lay by the pool, take a nap.
I love Florida seafood, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh, I
had some good seafood. I had some.
It's right next to the sea.
It is. It's right in the fucking sea. Is what it is. I had some. What did I have? I had you name it: oysters, mussels, crab legs. Oh, good stuff.
Oh,
really good. It was really good. And my daughter ate half the restaurant, but she was like a pig in shit. She was having so much fun because the little one had a fit that day. So my wife had to take the little one back to my brother's house. So we then took my oldest, my brother, his girlfriend, my dad, and I went to this seafood restaurant. And my oldest was like all the attention was just on her. So she didn't have the little one finally, and she just was eating everything and was like live music outside right by the water. Sees a dolphin. It was good. We had a good time.
Yeah, so. I could eat my weight in shrimp. That's my.
Oh, what did I have? I had a shrimp pasta somewhere. Where did I have that? Oh no. We had this takeout Mexican restaurant in when I was there, and I had this. No, that's not true at all. What a liar I am. It's fucking Thai food. It wasn't even Thai food. It was Chinese food. My brain is a fog right now, but I remember it being delicious, and it was. It's delicious. It was a spicy seafood shrimp thing.
Do you do the thing where you're like the kids ask you a question and you start to like answer it, and halfway through it you're like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about?
Oh, all the time, but I sell it. Yeah. But I sell it still. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I do that on this show all the time. That's how I made my career.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. It's so funny. The other day, so the guy who runs Warner Brothers, the guy Zasloff is the guy's name, but I refuse to call him that. I call him Zoloft. He's got to calm down.
Yeah.
Right. And so I've been calling him Zoloft, and I said because Campia talks about Campia loves him. And I talked about because I'm going back and forth with John about getting on the show and doing a spot on the show, and I was like, I'd love to talk to him about this because he loves Zoloft. And so most people were like, yeah, it should be fun. Go in there and do it. And so this one commenter, I was just in a mood. I woke up, I was looking at the comments, and this guy goes, yeah, man, for someone who can't even say his name right, you better not go on there and debate with Camper because he'll kick your ass. And I go, smell my fart. Should I start with that one, guy? I was like in the most juvenile mood. I'm like, I was like, I'm gonna smell my farts. You want to do that one?
Because I've noticed you've navigated. Like I saw one that was like. Like when we said that, like, Brad Pitt stole the show, and somebody, oh, really? The star stole the show?
Yeah.
Shake my head. You go, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah, don't shake your head. You'll hurt yourself. Yeah.
And then you said, well, it's an ensemble. You just really took care of it.
Don't shake your head. You could hurt your head. So listen, it's an ensemble. I do that, and I also do ones when someone writes LMFAO, and I go, are you really laughing that hard? Because if you are, you might have broke something on the floor. You do something. It's like the exaggeration on the LMFMOO. QRS
rolling on the floor laughing.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're not.
You're not.
No, you're not. It's like,
well, I'm just showing you how ridiculous you are. You're ridiculous.
Shut up. I was in the room with somebody once that put LOL to something I sent it like they're across the room. I'm like, you didn't hear you LOL.
LOL, you lying fuck.
Get out of my face.
There should be like a camera on people when they write LOL. It pops down and it's just like, liar. You better fucking laugh. You laugh, you little shithole.
It better be loud.
Laugh.
And out.
Loud. You just told people that you were laughing out loud, and you didn't.
You did.
You just told people that you were rolling on the floor. Get on that fucking floor now.
And roll.
Roll, motherfucker.
You sleep in a bed of lies.
Roll, asshole. Roll. Yeah, it's like you just have somebody run out if they're lying and start rolling the person. Now laugh, idiot. No, don't cry. Don't cry. Laugh. Or change it to crying on the floor. Crying on the floor.
Smirk.
LOL. LOL is the most like it's the most sarcastic, like patronizing bullshit. It really, unless if you're really laughing, just write ha ha ha.
Yeah. The ha 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 is for me.
I buy ha ha ha.
Yeah.
I don't buy LOL. I don't buy it. I buy it as someone being condescending.
Yeah.
And every time even if they're legit, I say no, I don't like it.
Don't buy it.
I don't like it. And you're not rolling on the floor. Stop this. The little emoji with the crying, I like that.
Yeah.
That's nice. I feel
that's
like
a good one. The crying laughter.
Yeah, to me that's an equivalent of like when you're at the club and someone either stands up and gives you some applause. Yeah. Like when we were doing whether it was the Santa bit or the Rob Zombie, and there was a lot of the faces with the crying.
Like that.
I like that. Yeah, you're going to win me over with that. But the rolling on the floor, smelling your own asshole on the floor, jumping around, farting around, no. Not
Is
not
it
a
an
big
old
fan.
guy thing to use the emojis? Sometimes I feel like...
I don't think so. Yeah, you all right? Long sleep.
Yeah, that was...
Brutal. You'll be all right.
Salad.
All right, before we move on, speaking of salad and old guys and farts and stuff, I can't transition to that. I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't
do what I was about to. Not what I was going to do. I can't do. Let's switch to another story because that would be bad. Let's talk about this story with Oscar Isaac. He's long said that he doesn't want anything to do with Star Wars anymore, and a lot of the cast wants nothing to do with Star Wars anymore. But now they're changing their tune. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? Because it's money. I happen to think they should wait a little bit before they come back, give it some time. And he doesn't say he's coming back anytime soon. But this is what the article says. A few years ago, after the cast of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker expressed their burnout from working on the franchise during the film's promotional campaign, one of them might be warming to the idea of returning. Oscar Isaac, who played fan favorite Poe Dameron, recently appeared on SiriusXM broadcast and expressed that he's very open to returning to the role as long as there's a strong enough story and enough director to justify it, and a shit ton of money that will land into his pool. Oh no, I didn't say that? Okay. I'm open to anything. You never know. I have no feelings one way or another. I think he had a good experience with Moon Knight, by the way, and he's probably why he's a little bit more open to do it. Plus the fact he sees that Star Wars TV is being accepted a little bit more. But I digress. I'm open to any good story. Time is the one thing that becomes challenging as you get older and kids and all that. Where do movies fit in? If there was a great story and a great director, and Kathleen Kennedy came to me and was like, hey, I have this great idea, then I'm so open to it. There lies a problem, by the way, and I'll get into that in a second. Even as recently as last year, Isaac made it clear that he'd be working in green screen Spaceland for quite a few years and was keener on doing films about grounded character studies. Disney has not announced any plans for Poe Dameron to return on the Star Wars universe. All right,
no fucking way he said keener.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know, but listen.
I'm a little keener to it.
Yeah, I'm a little keener. Look, I actually wouldn't be surprised with that guy. I love Oscar Isaac, and I thought he was great in Moon Knight. There are a few things. Kathleen Kennedy shouldn't be coming to anybody with the creative ideas for Star Wars. Not because she's not creative. I mean, I just don't think she's as enriched in Star Wars. I think for her strengths are, okay, look, John came to me, or Deborah Chow came to me and said they have this great idea. We're developing it now, and we'd love you to be a part of this. Yeah. That's what I'd more say. I think he's being, he's just saying, like, hey, there's this idea out there. I don't think he's being as specific as I am right now. But anyway, I think it also comes to the fact that when you're working in something, he was working in this since like 2014. So it went from 24, like 6 years basically, is when they started. They cast it. It comes out in 2015, the first one, and then it was when it comes out in 2015. There's all of this love, and everybody's so glad Star Wars back. And then The Last Jedi just it is very reminiscent to what the country is like in politics right now. It's crazy how much of a parallel there is to it when you look at the Star Wars fandom, of what it was like in 2015 to what happened in 20. When did it come out? The second one, 2017. And so when that came out, it just was such a divide. It was crazy. And then if I was part of that in the cast, and it's like everywhere you go, your movie's this, your movie's that, this sucks, blah, 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 blah. It's like, fuck this, right? Why would, and especially with somebody of his caliber, how great of an actor he is. But then I remember him saying something, what the hell was it? Was it Star Wars? It might have been Star Wars, but he talked about why he did a particular movie, and it's like it bought him a house somewhere, or he did something too. It's like, you made a shit ton of money on these movies. Why wouldn't you do another one? If they were like, hey, we want Poe Dameron, if there's some show that comes out in Star Wars that comes out in that time period, like, hey, we want you to come back for an episode. Why wouldn't you come back if you do?
Exactly. Yeah. And I think people take the, you did it for money thing as like you're a horrible person, but don't we all work for money?
I don't think anybody really says that too much anymore. I think they used to, but yeah, exactly.
I just did it for the money. Yeah, because he was struggling for years and years and eating ramen.
And now he's able to take the jobs, and he should. I don't mind him taking the money for it, as long as they're still committed to it. Yeah. Right. Like Tom Cruise makes a shit ton of money. He's always committed to it. There's some people that have done movies, and you're like, well, they're tuned out. They're not. They're just clearly taking the check, and they don't seem like they give a shit about it. Like that. When that happens, then you're like, you shouldn't have done it, because you're just pissing on the franchise. But I think that I still think then they would have so much more success. They should make a show on Disney Plus. Just call it Star Wars, right? And it's like an anthology series, and it could take place anytime during the galaxy. Each episode, you could do 12 episodes. One takes place after the original trilogy. One takes place after the new trilogy. One takes place 100 years ago. It's almost like what they had that animated series that just came out, the one that's not canon. Oh my God, Visions. And none of it was canon, but it was taking place all over different parts of Star Wars lore. You should do that with live action, that. Right? Yeah. It's like because you could bring in anybody you want, and these side adventures, and there's no. And it's almost like what Boba Fett did, except it was called Boba Fett. But like Boba Fett had a few episodes on Boba Fett, and it's like, here's this Luke episode that doesn't really have anything, and The Mandalorian, which doesn't really have anything to do with it until The Mandalorian goes and sees Boba Fett. But if you just called the show Star Wars and did like a Star Wars show, I don't know. And then you could put Poe in there. Poe could come back, do it, and it's like hey, we're hiring Oscar Isaac to do a 3-episode arc on this Star Wars show, and then that's it. Rey's going to come back for a scene or two. It's like, that to me would be a fun show to explore, because there's not these expectations, and it's almost like a grab bag for Star Wars fans. Yeah, they don't know what they're tuning into. It's like, what I heard the episode tonight is all about like Vader and Palpatine.
I love this idea. You should have kept that under your.
I should have kept it under. No, I hope they put it out there, and I hope someone from Lucasfilm steals it. But I think to
imagine, your point, I think that Oscar Isaac, kind of went through that time of where people were shitting on, and then they felt that fatigue.
Right,
like you said, the shows are breathing new life into the
and it adds to everything. But again, imagine imagine like the conversation that we'd have just on this show. It's like, what do you think tonight's episode is going to be? Well, I heard they're actually going back into the Old Republic for like a 2-episode arc. Really? Yeah, it's going to be crazy. All right, and then tonight's episode, well, it's just a one-off, but it's going to be about what happened to how Mace Windu got into the Jedi Academy, or it's like, and it's you can do all this stuff. It's just the Star Wars show. Yeah, and it's like there's no expectations on it. And it's like, oh wow, they did that. Oh, that episode sucks because so and so wouldn't do that. Yeah, but next week they're doing this. Oh wow. Great. Asajj Ventress and freaking Quinlan Voss we're gonna see what happened to them in a 2-episode arc, and then you move on.
find out Alf was in the Star Wars.
He was in Congress. He was in Congress. He was just trying to eat all the fucking cats.
That'd be great. Is that?
Well, you know, E.T. was in.
I did see that.
E.T. was in it.
It was like a couple ETs, right?
Yeah.
It was like a gaggle of ETs.
There's a bunch of these fuckers. They're going. Yeah, and they all looked like they were ready to start fucking. They looked like they were ready to get down and dirty.
Oh, yeah.
You know why? Because they're all hopped up on JOYMODE. They were all hopped up on JOYMODE, and you guys should be too. I'll tell you what. For people, JOYMODE's back, and boy, am I glad that they're back. I'll tell you this, because a lot of people, when you think about these types of the sexual enhancers, and everything, I don't have a problem. You don't need to have a problem. This is the good stuff. I didn't even know about it honestly, until they were on board for the last time, and I was like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. Holy moly, I'll tell you that. I gave it a Winston. He's still knocking over plants when he's walking around. But listen, this is it's a blast. It really is. And the problem is sometimes, you know, when you've been at a gas station, you look over and there's like these really bad hard-on pills, and they're tempting. Oh, let me try them out. Nobody's looking. I'll buy them over the counter. But if you look at what's going on in those products, they are not good for you. And the same goes for most of the products on the market that claim to help dudes in bed, but you don't want a 4-hour erection. Nasty side effects, heart problems, and possible trip to get to the hospital just to get rid of it. It's terrible. No, I'm telling you, I didn't know what to expect, and I was happy. You tried it with Lonnie, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
JOYMODE's here to save the day, everybody. Whether you're happy or unhappy with your performance in the bedroom, it really doesn't matter. Think about it like when you go to the gym. You can, I'm great at working out. I got all this up, but you take a supplement, woohoo, same thing, and you won't make that noise. Well, you might. Who knows?
Yeah, hey.
Who knows? JOYMODE makes natural and science-backed sexual wellness products for men. They're sexual performance boosters. It's like a pre-workout, but for sex. So it was created because the products on the market, not the best, and they knew they could do better. Prescriptions come with all sorts of side effects, and the over-the-counter gas station pills, they're sketchy, they're fraudulent, but lots of guys take them because they don't have a better option. Well, now you do. This is what you do. This is the best part of it. You tear open a sachet, and you mix it with 6 to 8 ounces of water, shake it up, just like you do with the Athletic Greens. For best use, consume anywhere from 45 minutes to 4 hours prior to sexual activity. You're going to notice better blood flow, truth, better erection quality and firmness, truth, and increased sexual energy and drive. If you want to spice things up in the bedroom and boost your sexual performance and do it naturally without nasty prescription drugs, got a special offer for the Big Thing audience. You go to joymode.com/big thing. I mean, this is perfect for the show. Big Thing. I mean, come on. Enter Big Thing at checkout for 20% off your first order. That's joymode.com/big thing. Get 20% off your first order. Use JOYMODE. Now, normally what I've been doing, and I'm going to continue to do this, I've been asking you guys if you, for other sponsors that we have, let us know what's happening. You would talk about emojis.
Yeah.
You're going to see emojis all over the place. I gave Winston and Coy, I was like, hey, give it a shot. It's not one of those things like, oh, I'm having issues. If you are, it'll help you out, but it ain't that. It really is like, as we mentioned with other magic. It gives you that. I call it. It's the magic.
Yeah,
it's the magic.
And when you get, I mean, especially for the older crowd, your brain wants it to go well, but it's.
Do you know why? For me, so when I took it a couple times, I got no issues with the getting ready.
Yeah.
For me, it's because I'm exhausted all the time, and I remember I'm like, man, I'm just so tired of being tired. I want to get ready. I want to do it, and I took the packet, and I'm like, where is she? It was great. It's great. I'm glad they're back. I'll tell you that much. I'm hoping that JOYMODE will be a sponsor. What's the word I'm looking for? Forever.
Yes.
Forever. So the link is in the description. So go and check out JOYMODE. Do it. Don't let the English see you do it. All right. Moving on past Oscar Isaac here. She-Hulk. Yeah. Now, most likely I have my immediate reaction up on the channel at the time that we're doing this. I think so. I think it's morning. So if this episode came out at 12, it's because my immediate reaction is up. So that's probably why it came out a little late today. But maybe not. But there's a couple things And I might even lead with this today. I don't know. I'm either going to lead with the Oscar Isaac story or the She-Hulk. But the She-Hulk head writer was bummed out that she couldn't use Spider-Man. In a new interview, She-Hulk attorney-at-law head writer Jessica Gao reveals that her team was bummed out when they were told that all Spider-Man-related characters were off limits. It makes sense, though, because it's Sony, right?
Yeah.
I would assume there's probably just a certain deal how many times they can use them. It's already been confirmed that She-Hulk Attorney-at-Law will feature cameo appearances from several Marvel comic characters, including Charlie Cox's Daredevil, but it seems certain heroes and villains were off limits from the start. Oh, Richard's here to read this. Oh, Richard, you're here? Okay.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I wish you would have let me in a little earlier to read this. I've been chomping at the bit. Well, so she was chatting with the direct, and the creator, head writer also, Jessica Gao. To figure it out one way or another, but she revealed that multiple characters they were considering during the writing process. The Marvel Studios told them were off the table.
All right, thanks a lot, Richard. They wanted a lot of characters from the comics for fun situations where they could bring in a character and think of funny reasons why they'd be in legal trouble. But there were a lot of characters that were from the comics that we couldn't use because of a rights issue. Yeah, there you go. Or there were a few times where it's all because Marvel, all they would say is that they had other plans. And that's all they would tell us. And then we tried very hard to poke and prod, just like JOYMODE, and get a little bit more information. Of course, they wouldn't tell us. The type of thing must be frustrating for a writer, but it sounds like not being allowed to introduce one specific hero or related characters was particularly disappointing. She goes on to say, but I will say the one MCU character that we really bummed out a lot of writers in the room that we couldn't use was Spider-Man and anyone involved around, like in Spider-Man universe, because we had so many Spider-Man fans in the room. Since Sony Pictures technically holds the rights to Spider-Man, this isn't too surprising. Tom Holland's web slinger has appealed in Marvel Studios projects in the past, but this would seem to confirm that the new deal between the studio doesn't extend to TV. Still, there's always a chance that the Emerald Amazon and the Webhead will cross paths on the big screen one day. Check out a fun new Law & Order parody promo for She-Hulk. No, I want to see the show. And that's it. All right, so this obviously makes a lot of sense why they couldn't do it, but it also makes a lot of sense for why they were bummed.
Well, let me ask you this,
sure,
just
go
in
ahead,
general.
go ahead.
Why is Sony really holding on? Like, why?
They own the rights. It's not holding on. Well, it's pay us. And, to do it. And why does Marvel? And Marvel probably, I think the other.
So they weren't offering to pay. They just kind of wanted to add.
They wanted to use them, but it's also, maybe Sony has other plans for certain characters. That's the problem with Sony owning it. They had this. People forget how much of a monstrous, monumental deal it was for Disney, Marvel to strike this deal with Sony to get Spider-Man and have this kind of coexisting between two studios and characters. Never happened before, or at least not to that scale. I remember being at that panel in Hollywood when there was these rumors that it was going to happen. Foggy was playing kind of coy about it, and then I think it was announced a few days later. But yeah, and I think that the other thing is if Marvel has Tom Holland, the way it usually works is that whether you have, like, I sign you up, like Captain America, I've signed you up for a certain amount of appearances. So, and we know where we want to use you. So if they're like, hey, we got this great idea for Spider-Man, we only got him for 10 appearances and a little cameo with him cracking some jokes and this stuff too, ain't worth the scratch. So I get it. It makes sense. But I also understand the frustration. I was like, damn it, I wish we just had all access to all these characters. What it does make me realize that Coy keeps saying that he's hearing that Thing from Fantastic Four is supposed to make a cameo in this show. I think that's becoming more likely because the Fantastic Four were announced at Comic-Con, officially announced. I mean, well, it's not. I guess there was always a rumor. Well, I don't know how it was official, but they were looking for a director, and John Watts was attached to it. So they officially announced when it was coming out. It was like the first movie of Phase 6. So to do that and to make that announcement before She-Hulk comes out makes sense. So like, okay, well, we already said this movie's coming out, so it would make sense that we're going to start giving you, teases for Fantastic Four, and it'd be great if Thing shows up. So, are you excited for the Fantastic Four movie?
Yeah. Again, I love the ones that I don't.
You like the shitty ones?
Yeah, I like the shitty ones. Yeah. I actually, you know what? I didn't hate that though.
The last one?
Yeah.
So what's funny about that? I think I'm one of the few people in the world that I remember Tyrone Magnus giving me shit about it. The first half of that movie isn't bad, and then it just turns like you can just tell they didn't know it was a disaster. The movie was a disaster. Like they didn't know what the hell they were doing.
We cast it on SEN Live with a Dreamcast, and I just said the cast from that film. I just did Jessica Alba back.
That's the most. Oh, that you're talking. You're not talking about that movie. You're talking. You're talking the first two movies.
Yeah,
you're talking the Tim Story movies. I'm talking about the Miles Teller and Michael B. Jordan one. Yeah. The first two movies are just very similar to like Rise of Skywalker, where it's just cotton candy. You're just getting fat on the couch.
Yeah,
there's no substance to it. It's like Chris Evans is good as Storm. I think
there wasn't a lot of superhero stuff then, was there? I mean,
well, this was what the hell year was that? In the early. Let me see what year it was.
Because there's been a lot of really good stuff come out since then.
Tim Story release date. The first one was 2005. So there was. I mean, you had at that point the X-Men films, Spider-Man films, Blade. There were Daredevil. Yeah, there was a few X-Men movies,
but not like Iron Man. Or,
no. The MCU. No, the MCU had not started yet because the MCU was still like. Remember, Marvel had to like sell off all their shit because they were like basically kind of bankrupt, and they didn't have. They sold all their shit off. They sold it to Fox. They sold it. Paramount had it. Everybody had it, and they didn't know what the hell to do with it. And then they made the movie. The first movie, the Iron Man was not. Iron Man was Paramount, and I think Hulk was Universal.
That's right.
And then those movies did well, and I think then what happened was they started to create Marvel Studios, and then Disney bought Marvel Studios, and then I think they got their property back from Paramount. I think that a lot of people realize, well, who said this recently? Someone's like, oh, well, if the Hulk was so good, I was talking to my brother actually about it, and he's like, if the Hulk was like that movie, like why haven't they made another Hulk movie? I'm like, they don't have the rights to make another Hulk movie. I think Universal still owns the single rights to Hulk. They can put Hulk in whatever the fuck they want, but they can't give him his own thing. I think that's still the case.
That's where it's confusing me with the whole not being able to use Spider-Man because there are films that use Spider-Man that aren't Sony, right?
No. Sony owns the rights to Spider-Man. That's the difference. The Universal, I think, only owns the rights to they're the only ones that can make like a single Hulk movie that like no one else can make.
A single, but like Avengers, like that's not a Sony film, right?
You mean when
Spider-Man
when he shows up? Yeah, that's what I'm saying though. So they had a deal. Sony had a deal with Marvel.
Remember, I'm a dummy.
But this is why you're also here because a lot of this is a conversation that we had on Capes and Cows this Friday, that Winston, myself, and Corey were talking about. Not everybody inside because yes, you were on this show, but you represent the casual fan that just goes to the movie and doesn't pay attention to anything. Just like I was talking to you about like the stuff that was going on in Ezra Miller. You were not paying attention to that shit. You don't know what the hell's going on, right? But as far as the way that it works with that Spider-Man deal, it's like, okay, we're going to bring Spider-Man into the MCU, and we will share certain rights on things. And I don't know, Sony gets the majority of the movie itself, like the money that comes in for, like, say, those Spider-Man movies, the No Way Home, all those movies. Sony sees the benefits of that. But they can take place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe inside of the storyline itself. And then Marvel's deal was, okay, you get the single movie, you get that, but we can put them in other movies. So we have them for a set amount of movies, whether it's Avengers, Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, whatever it is. We have him for this. That's the deal. The deal is you give him back to us for able to do this. We can include him in our Marvel Cinematic Universe. You'll be able to make a single movie and not one of some of your shit boxes that you've made in the past. You can take some of our storylines. And that's why it's such like a historical deal, because it just doesn't happen. And they actually had lost the rights at one point again after it was this big story, and people forget about it now. But like Tom Holland was all pissed off about it, and it looked like the deal was coming to a close. And like, great, we can't use Spidey again. And then they came to the table again. Sony knows they need Marvel for Spider-Man. They know.
Yeah.
And Morbius should be an absolute example of that. Now Morbius, they just tried to put Michael Keaton from Spider-Man into this thing, and it's the stupidest ending. The post-credit scenes are...
I want to see Morbius because of all the crap I've heard about it.
I didn't hate the movie.
Okay.
It's not good, but I didn't hate watching it. There's some movies that are so bad you just hate watching them. I thought he was good. I thought Matt Smith, I'm telling you, this Game of Thrones show, this is going to be the one that makes him like, I know Doctor Who he did The Crown, and I know all that, but this is the one that's going to make him a megastar. He looks so good in this show. Are you going to be watching this show?
Oh yeah. No, I'm on board. I'm on board for all these because again, this one I don't think I need to know Game of Thrones, which I was kind of in and out of. Right, this is a new story.
Yeah,
and hopefully for my brain it'll stick kind of with.
Well, it's brand new. It's and it takes place I think like 1,000 years before the original. So like as long as you get in from the beginning, I think you like what I would suggest, and this is what I'm going to do also. Subtitles for Game of Thrones, baby.
Yeah,
that's going to make your life a lot easier because all the characters and because
the names was something. And if you had Targaryens and Tyrion, and like that was the thing that was like.
Well, but I think that you're going to be a little familiar with it from the original series.
I know enough.
Yeah. So and they'll set it up. I'm pretty excited for it. I did a ranking of the top 4. So I'll give it to you, casual viewer. You got 4 shows that you can. Well, I'll even give you 5 because I know that you watched Cobra Kai, so it's probably your least anticipated because you watched the first season, right?
I've got to get it back into.
You got to get it back.
Yeah,
I'd like you to get back into it because that way we can talk about it when you're on the show. But you got Cobra Kai, you got Andor, Lord of the Rings, Game of Thrones, and She-Hulk. Rank anticipation.
Well, because of the
She-Hulk,
reason She-Hulk because my daughter wants to watch it with me.
Yep. It's amazing how that it does. It ranks tremendously.
Totally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go the House of Dragon.
Okay, for number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings or Andor?
Yeah, that's a toss up. I think Andor.
The trailer is so good.
Yeah, because the Lord of the Rings one could be. I don't know. Sometimes I didn't love.
Did you see the last 2 trailers?
I did.
Okay.
They look good.
They look good.
But that, I didn't like The Hobbit or, I love the original Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit one.
Right. And then there's this rumor, I don't know what the whole thing, apparently Peter Jackson told them that he'd be involved if they wanted him, and then he said they kind of ghosted him.
Ooh.
That's stupid, if that's the case. So then Cobra Kai coming in last. Yeah. For me, I'm going to put Andor number 1, House of the Dragon number 2. What's 3? 3 is probably Lord of the Rings. No. 3 is Cobra Kai. 4 is Lord of the Rings. 5 is She-Hulk. But She-Hulk is starting to look a little better to me. With the I am excited to check it out. I'll know right away from the first episode because what I will tell you, and I said this so far about She-Hulk, it's not trying to fool you with what it is.
No, not at all.
It is clearly Ally McBeal for the MCU.
Yeah.
And it's a comedy, and it's ripped right from the comics, and they're staying true to the comics, and it's going to be that. And I think
it's either going to be delightful or stupid. I think there's not going to be like any blurred lines with that one.
It's like you just have to know that that's the tone, and if the comedy is good inside of that tone, it's consistent, and there's still some emotional moments, it could easily win me over. There's no doubt about it. I'm so curious to see what you think about Thor: Love and Thunder when it comes out.
Yeah,
because you didn't like Ragnarok.
No.
So if you didn't like Ragnarok, you're gonna hate this movie, I think. All right, let's before I also want to tell you guys, I'm pumped about this one. Yeah, private internet access with a nice, funky little logo. I like the logo. I've been telling you about private internet access, and I'll tell you some more about it. Today's episode is sponsored by Private Internet Access, and it's the most transparent VPN provider on the market. It's just the software you need to protect your digital life, and you might not be aware of it, but even if you browse in an incognito mode, you're not safe online. Your internet service provider is storing your browsing history, and it can sell it to advertisers. And that's, everyone's, I'm safe. No, you are not. But what's good about private internet access is it encrypts your internet connection, and then it hides your IP address, and it protects you. All you have to do is connect to one of their 1,000 servers located in over 80 countries, and even a server in the U.S. state, so you can avoid sporting event blackouts, for example. So you'll be able to get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content on streaming platforms. Now, private internet access has a strict no-logs policy, and it's 100% open source. It's also available for all operating systems, and one subscription can protect up to 10 devices at the same time. So if you want to start securing your digital life, I have a special deal available for you. You can get an amazing 82%. Yep, I said that. I'll say it again. 82% discount on private internet access. That brings it down to $2.11 a month. and you get 3 extra months added to your subscription for free. So this is all you have to do. Private internet access, it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee and 24/7 customer support. It's all risk-free for you. So you head on over to privateinternetaccess.com/thebigthing and get private internet access today. That is privateinternetaccess.com/thebigthing. All right, and as I mentioned before, and I'll mention again, so many times people ask, what can you do to help the show? Yes, commenting absolutely helps. With the algorithm, the liking helps. The subscription to the podcast helps. And if you're like, well, I want to be able to, you're not doing super chats, you're not doing those things, what can you do? Well, find a sponsor that's good for you, that you like, and get it. Private internet access to me is a pretty damn good sponsor. Look in the description. We usually put the links we always put the links to the subscribers. To sponsors for the subscribers in the description, and we also put iCards during the when I'm reading out the deals. There's a little iCard. So for podcast listeners, you can just take that link and check it out. But anyway, good stuff. Good stuff thus far. Let's move on over here. She-Hulk coming out. As I said, I probably have my reaction up now. So this one was exciting to me because you watch Better Call Saul, yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have not, and everybody tells me I need to watch it, and I know I have to watch it. My brother was getting on me to watch it. I need to check it out.
And I was so against it.
Why?
Just because it was I watched Breaking Bad late to the game.
I remember, yeah.
And I was like,
what's
how
gonna
is this
top?
show
Yeah.
going to be?
I heard it's almost as good.
Yeah, it's so fun. Yeah,
I got to watch it. I got to check it out. With Better, because I love Breaking Bad, so it's really bizarre that I haven't watched this show. Okay. With Better Call Saul coming to an end, series co-creator Vince Gilligan is ready to move on from projects set in the Breaking Bad universe, as he should. I get it. According to Deadline, Gilligan is ready to line up his next drama series, which Sony Pictures TV will produce, and is said to harken back to Gilligan's tenure on The X-Files. All that is known in the series will be a blended, grounded genre drama that will explore the human condition in an unexpected, surprising way and draws a comparison to The Twilight Zone, and it's thought-provoking without being a morality tale. There's also an overreaching story arc envisioned to play over a couple of seasons. The pitch is expected to arrive in the next couple of weeks, with nearly 10 networks and streaming platforms lined up to hear it. Yeah, no shit. No shit. Why wouldn't you line whatever this guy wants to do? You say, just buy it. Who was talking about that? Oh, yeah, it's there's some, and as much as I said that about Batman, there are some things that just get greenlit from the pitch.
Yeah.
There are things that just get greenlit right away. And so I guess the argument again, well, why wouldn't you just greenlit the Batman? It's because they already announced it's not coming out for another 4 years, so we can hold on it. But if he's got something, yeah, I don't care what it is. This guy's Midas right now. Okay. Well, yeah, what it is, we'll give it at least 2 seasons, and then we'll see.
Monster series.
The Monsters, yeah, they should team up. He's feed to the Monsters. You gotta assume Rob Zombie hates us. You gotta assume he hates us.
My friend mentioned going to a Rob Zombie concert, and I got this. Don't tell him you know me.
He's got a dartboard with your face on it as the flirting flouse, and he's just throwing shit.
Oh God! Oh.
No, I know. No, he doesn't. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. Again, I don't know the man, but I can just tell you. Doesn't cost $40 million, you fucking assholes. He does not like us. But Vince Gilligan probably likes us. I hope. I hope so. I am going to watch that series. So tell me why you're not watching season 2 of The Boys.
Because we are.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. What episode are you
on? I think 2. It's the hour-long thing sometimes is tough because if we start a little late, we'll do 1.5, and then part of the half is
you're preaching to the choir.
But
yeah.
God, everything just gets doubled down.
Look at her. It's really. What episode are you in?
I think the second or the third. I could be.
Oh, second or third
yeah.
episode. Okay, so shit, you're still not.
Yeah. We just restarted it.
How good? So did they announce? They announced the new superhero, right? The girl.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah. Oh, I love her.
She's great. Yeah. She keeps getting better and better.
I
love the second season. I loved the second season. People were like, some people, the second season was okay. My brother bailed on the show for the second season. I thought the second season was great.
Yeah, Homelander and his son and that kind of.
Okay, so you're spoilers.
Oh,
No, who cares? That freaking thing's been out for forever. Yeah, but that's that keeps going. Yeah, that keeps going. Like it's great the way that's set up. Yeah, it keeps going. You're not going to want to stop watching. Once if you're locked in now, you're going to keep going.
There's a running thing, and I this isn't a spoiler necessarily, but just with Huey. Just always getting a face full of blood.
Everything. There's more, and it continues to happen throughout the series. There's always stuff that happens with him for sure. The thing with can we try to get Lonnie on the phone to talk about the boys?
No, today's a bad. She's meeting with no, she's actually meeting with some like contractors.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, because I know
not that kind of bad.
I'm having that with so this morning. So the kids are still on the East Coast time.
Oh,
but they're going to bed on West Coast time, but waking up on East Coast time. Right. So this morning, although when we got back the day of, little one's out by like 8:30, and you're like, oh, try to get her out by like 7:45, 8. She was out by like 10 to 7 on the night we got back. So like, all right, how long is this going to continue? It lasted one night. That's the only time. Last night, out by 8:15, 8:20, whatever. Wakes up at 5:15 this morning. And then the older one hears her. She gets up. So my wife's like, no. I'm like, all right, I'll handle it. So I go out. I make myself some coffee. I'm like, I can figure this out. I'm good. So I tell the kids are playing with each other. I'm like, just be quiet. Don't wake your mother up, because if you wake your mother up, we're all going to be. So they tried. And the oldest is trying to play with the little one as much as she can, but they're still, and Brett, 15 times, 20 times, guys, you got to keep it down. So I hear the dreaded words, hey Siri, play Elena of Avalar soundtrack. So they start singing, and there's full on, but they're having a blast. And they're in the living room just blast. And then I just see my text on my computer start going up. And my wife's I'm gonna read the text. She'll probably get mad at me for this, but it's worth it.
They just don't.
They don't get it.
You tell them to be quiet.
They don't get it. They don't get it. And it was so I get this. Are you kidding me? Next time you're napping, I'm going to have the kids put on a full concert in the living room. Full blast volume, full blast singing. Thanks a lot. Took me forever to fall back asleep. I have a long day. This is fucked up. And I felt terrible. I'm telling her, I'm like, it's not like I was like, go ahead, have a blast, put it on. I'm like, I told these fuckers so many times to turn it down, to do this, do that. They don't, it doesn't register.
It's almost like they go, oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Here you go.
I'm like, when I tried to tell them both, I'm like, you're with her all day.
Yeah.
This is going to be, you guys are going to need stuff, and you ain't going to get the happy sunshine that you want. You're going to be dealing with someone who is not happy to be awake right now. And you caused this. I'm in the office.
This is on you.
Yeah, I'm in the office. You know what I'm doing right now? I'm rolling on the floor laughing my ass off. And that's it. That's what I got for you on that one. There is some other news, by the way, that I guess came in while we were taping, and I want to get it. I guess this is back to that Warner Brothers. This story is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger as time goes on. But let me put it out here for you. Let me find it. It's more Batgirl stuff and all that. All right, give me a second, everybody. All right, Vince, you're the man, but I'm going to put you out for a second. Okay, so this is more Batgirl stuff. This is one of those. This is that shot. This is Michael Keaton on the right, and Batgirl obviously on the left. And here's the story that is coming in at the time of this taping. Batgirl, Fallout, Joker 2 budget, and DC talk. The Batgirl cancellation saga continues. Variety now reports that Warner Brothers Pictures Group's chief Michael DeLuca and Pam Abdy are hoping to mend fences with the film star Leslie Grace. As a result, the pair are reportedly entertaining the possibility of having her continue to play Batgirl in a future DC film, or at least star in another Warner Brothers production. The news comes in a new DC article in the trade, which goes on to say that Joker Part 2 is the only one in the works to officially have a green light at present. It will also boast a budget of $150 million, well over double that of its predecessor. Partly it's the cost of the film's complicated musical sequences. Mostly its paid jumps with Joaquin Phoenix and director Todd Phillips, both reportedly landing $20 million each. Nice. That's like almost $50 million, $40 million to, and Lady Gaga's getting 10. It's $50 million just on cast and directors. Basically, the production budget itself is about $100 million. Matt Reeves' The Batman sequel remains in development and does not have a green light, and is years away. That's kind of my point. But the Penguin series is seemingly fine. Stuck in limbo, Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3, the Emerald Fennel-penned Zatanna, I don't know what the hell that is, or the Nahishi Coates written Superman project remain with no update on the progress either way. Same with the proposed J.J. Abrams. The article also indicates they're still looking for the DC equivalent of Kevin Feige, while DC's TV chief Greg Berlanti was reportedly mentioned as a possibility. He's apparently not interested in his other TV commitments. Yeah, it's a big job. Oh, a lot there. Okay. So I think that the good. Show up now after the story's over. Perfect. It just shows there's so much. Like, as far as Leslie goes, I'm a big fan of hers. Like, she's so this guy that Zoloft. I don't have an issue with him canceling stuff. I don't have an issue with him pushing stuff. My biggest issue with him is, like, there are a lot of people who are saying, "Oh, how does he cancel a movie like this and do that?" If the movie stinks, the movie stinks, and if he wants to cancel it, it's on him. It's $90 million. You want to push it? You want to get a tax write-off for it? Sure, go ahead, do it. My issue is the way that he presented it. It's pretty much like he was saying his report was, I think that the terms were something like, if the movies aren't, if they're not up to standard, then we're not going to do them. Basically saying the movie stinks. Yeah, that's such a slap in the face to the actor and the director. She came out, the star of the movie was just so classy and just really made me an instant fan of her, like right away. So it's no surprise that Warner Brothers is like, well, look at the way that she could have really come after us from the way that this guy just made this statement, and she didn't. She chose the high road. You get her in and it's also to save face with the public, sure, but it's more so you take care of someone like that. Now, whether or not it's to play Batgirl again, I don't know. I think give her a starring role in something else too, because to me it's like Batgirl. If I was her, I'd say fuck off. I don't want to play Batgirl anymore, because it's like there's like, oh well, that movie wasn't good, but you can play Batgirl in another movie. give me. I want to produce now. I want to produce the next thing that I'm in. So if you're gonna come, I'll take your offer. I'll star in your movie. I want it to be a project I'm passionate about, and I want to call the shots. Now she's earned that. She should call the shots and tell them to stick Batgirl up their ass. Is what I would do if I was her. She shouldn't.
You can't do that these days, though.
No, you can't. You can't tell Batgirl. Tell Batgirl stick Batgirl.
No,
up
you
your ass.
can't stick Batgirl.
No, you can't do it anymore. Well, she could. She wanted to.
70s were different.
It was a different time. It's true. But as far as finding the new Kevin Feige, I mean, isn't that like the magic trick? That's what everybody wants to do. Yeah, Star Wars wants to do it. Well, I guess Star Wars does. I don't know if Star Wars wants to do it. Star Wars should do it. They just never. They never tried. There's rumors that Kevin Feige was going to be the Kevin Feige of the Star Wars world, but that's not happening.
Feige on Feige.
Yeah. But Berlanti's like, nah, I'm good. Hamada's like, I'm out. So they need to find somebody. I think that's so they announced like this 10-year plan that they were going to do. I think you find that guy or girl first before you say we're doing a 10-year plan. Yeah, and the guy who was running the shop, so Zoloft is out there making his announcements. And the guy who's running the shop, DC, goes, wait, what? We're doing what now?
10-year plan?
He's like, okay, I'm leaving. And they're like, don't leave yet. Wait till Black Adam. So he's taken off, and now they're going to find somebody else. Anyway, that's the show.
We got a 10-year plan.
We got a 10-year plan here.
Step 1, find the Feige.
Find the Feige. Step 2, cancel everything. Anyway, thanks for joining us today. Yeah. Appreciate you. And so, as I said, we're going to have some cool announcements very soon. I can say one of those announcements that Brett and I are meeting on Tuesday, and yes. We're starting the redesign for the studio. This studio is going to look very, very different, hopefully in the course of the next month or two. I want to get rid of this 2-shot. I want to do more of a better wide shot. I want to get some more different shots, different lights. So hopefully this looks significantly different in a month from now. And Brett's been helping me with this, and he's kind of like the architect behind it. So, and if it looks bad, just blame him. Thank you guys for joining us. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the flip side. Thank you. Make sure that you, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Do that. If you sat through this whole thing and didn't subscribe, then how dare you? Please do that. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere podcasts are found. Comment. Let's do a challenge today. Let's try to get this show to 400 comments. Let's do 400 comments. Because if you can help us to get 400 comments, it helps inside the algorithm, and it gets more people to see it. So if you can do 400 comments, and then I look and it says, more people are engaged with this video, it helps tremendously. It's all a silly game, this YouTube's, and you guys can help us play it. I like that.
How many RFLs or
you think we'll get?
Yeah.
I wonder if we're going to get more emojis, or we're going to get more rolling on the floor, slapping my balls. All right. So go roll on the floor and slap your balls. We'll see you next time. Peace. Oh, that's me.